Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is King Jules and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time being here, I want to say welcome to the channel, and if you've been here before, y'all are my family, y'all are my kinfolk, and nothing can change that. I'm a creative entrepreneur, music producer, and talent manager. I'm the founder of RoundTable, which is a management company and creative agency. So RoundTable has been in operation for the past 5 years. Our main responsibility and goal is to help artists get to their next platform, and this is exactly what I will be doing here. So for many of you who've been on this journey, you've seen the vlogs, you've seen the beats I've uploaded, you've seen the reviews, you've seen the cooking videos, but I started to think at the end of last year, how can I get more focused on the things that I particularly do on the everyday and help somebody else get to their next point in their journey? So for me, I have been a musician since a very young age. I was born into it. My dad was a musician, my brother's a musician. I've been raised around musicians my whole life, and there was no way that I wasn't going to be a musician in some type of way. While I was in high school, I found my niche in music production after spending some time in the studio with my dad, and that kind of guided me into going to studying music industry in college, which is where I learned more about engineering and production. And I thought, hey, how can I help somebody who isn't on that collegiate journey, somebody who's just getting started and wants to learn more about production, and thought this would be the perfect time to do this specific video. Starting off, what is a DAW? For those of you who don't know, DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation. A digital audio workstation is an application or some type of device where you can produce, record, and edit audio files. Most people know the big heavy hitters: Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton, Fruity Loops, Reason, Cubase, Studio One. The list goes on. There are so many different types of digital audio workstations. I can't specifically tell you what is the best DAW, but I can suggest what DAW might work best for you. For the purposes of this specific video, I'm comparing Ableton versus Logic. Is there a best? That's a good question. I don't know about you guys, but for me, whether you're a seasoned producer or you're just now getting started, there's always a comparison of which is the better DAW. Some people like Pro Tools, some people like Logic, some people like Ableton. They like the keyboard workstation feel. Honestly, it's up to you. The question of what is the best DAW depends on what type of computer you're using. Obviously, the comparison between Ableton and Logic only is a real comparison on a Mac user interface. If you're not using a Mac and you're using a PC, you're pretty much lucked out. But luckily for you, Ableton is available on PC, so you can use it on PC and Mac. Logic is only available to Mac users. So Logic is $200 flat rate from the Apple App Store. If you're going for bang for your buck and you are a Mac user, of course, Logic is the better option. If we're talking about bang for your buck and the quality and the amount of things that you get in the DAW, obviously, Logic is the way to go. It's $200. You can't beat that price. You have a full service production suite. Logic has a built-in drum machine for drum sequencing, a very simple and easy to use sampler, full range of 4,000 built-in instruments. 4,000 instruments that are guaranteed to take your production level from here all the way up here. In addition to the 4,000 built-in instruments that you get in the DAW, you get an additional 10,000 sound loops that you can use and turn your production into magic. Logic comes with some amazing plugins and effects. Specifically, they have some really great compressors and EQs and reverbs built in, some that emulate outboard gear. Capabilities of all the plugins that you can want. You have audio units, AAX plugins, and VST plugins are able to use on Logic. Another cool factor is, yes, it is an Apple product, so you can use it with GarageBand. There is functionality where you can take your Logic Pro X files and use them in GarageBand. You can create new tracks and produce in a full service GarageBand app and then bounce it back into Logic. There's also a companion Logic app for iPad. So if you're really talking about taking your music on the go, really immersing your production experience from your cell phone to your iPad to your computer, Logic may be the best bet for you. If you're just now getting started, Logic may be the program for you. I know a lot of seasoned professionals who use Logic on the day-to-day. It's not just a beginner software. If you really immerse yourself in the experience, I think you can get the best out of using Logic. Talk about Ableton. Obviously the company is Ableton, the program is called Live. So Ableton Live 10 is the one that I'm specifically talking about today. Let's talk about Ableton. Ableton is the performers, the producers program. I was kind of skeptical on Ableton for a very long time until I watched another producer's workflow with Ableton, and I really liked how he brought a track together. One comparison that Logic doesn't have that Ableton does have is that Ableton does have a free trial for you to try out. On the other hand, Ableton offers 3 separate versions, 3 different prices. You have Ableton Live Intro, you have Ableton Live Standard, and you have Ableton Live Suite. Now you guys are probably wondering, are you gonna break down the full difference between Live Standard, Live Suite, Live Intro? No, I'm not gonna do that. If you want to, go down in the description, hit the link, do your reading. If you guys want that as a separate video of breaking down Ableton Live Intro versus Ableton Live Standard versus Ableton Live Suite, let me know in the comments because I'll definitely give you guys that if you want it. The version that I want to talk about, the Ableton version that I want to talk about is Live Suite. With Ableton Live Suite, you have the full capabilities of the program, which you don't necessarily have with Standard or with Intro. With Ableton Live Suite, you get 15 built-in software instruments to use. In comparison, is much lower than Logic. You don't get as many software instruments, but you do get over 5,000 samples. I think it's over like 70 gigs worth of samples that you can get with the program. You get 55 built-in audio effects and 17 MIDI effects. Ableton does not support AAX plugins, but it does support VST2, VST3, and audio units. Most people today are using Ableton, whether you're a producer or you're a DJ in your live experience. Most of your favorite EDM producers, I know a lot of rappers and other audio companies are using Ableton for playback because it's just really good when it comes to a live experience. So Apple does offer MainStage, which is a similar live interface that Ableton has. It is not included in Logic Pro X. You have to buy it for an additional $30, which brings the comparison to you get this full immersive production experience and live experience from one program, which Ableton does offer. Which DAW is better? And that is a question that people have been wondering the answer for generations, and I don't think it's a question that we're going to get the answer to because it's a subjective question, because it depends on who you are, what your uses are for the program, and what you're looking to get out of it. Personally, having used both programs, I would personally say that Ableton is better. There are some things that Ableton is missing that Logic has, and I totally understand that, but in my workflow, more recently in the past 2 years since owning Ableton, I would say that Ableton is a superior production suite. You're probably gonna watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos about which program is better and hearing people's bias. I'm not here to be biased. I'm just gonna suggest what has worked best for me, and having worked in both programs more recently, I would suggest that Ableton is a better program. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope that you got everything that you needed out of this and it brought you closer to making a decision as to what DAW is better for you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button down here and leave a comment, and also be sure to subscribe, turn on those post notifications so you never miss any of these upcoming music videos. So until next time, much love, peace, and joy to you all.